been talking here about this new Biden book, and it's an interesting story about journalism, and it's an interesting story for me, and I'm so glad Ben in particular is here talk about this because I think that the it's the biggest scandal in journalism, American journalism history, and the authors, one of whom was very aggressive during the campaign, trying to get to the bottom of Joe Biden's obvious mental decline, and one was not, and the one who's not continues to go on TV on his own network to explain. And their position is it was not obvious that there was mental decline until after the election when they interviewed 200 people, even though it was obvious to a lot of people. And it was obvious to anchors on Newsmax that he had mental decline. And now they're saying the people who are in denial about their denial are saying, we didn't see it at the time, but they're saying, in effect, everything they said on Newsmax and Fox and elsewhere was actually true. That's basically what they're saying. But they're saying we couldn't figure it out somehow, because I guess they're saying we're not as good as the reporters at Newsmax and Fox. I guess that's what they're saying. Ben, the Washington Post has a favorable review of the book, and this sentence is in the review. Ready? I'm going to read it. Immediately, they say that what was pervaded during the Biden term was a media environment in which few reporters were willing to question the president's fitness for office. That's an extraordinary statement, but not explained. So I'll read it again. They say there was a media environment in which few reporters were willing to question the president's fitness for office. I think that's a true statement. I'm wondering if you think it's true, and if so, why were there few reporters willing to question the president's fitness?
Yeah, I am still processing what I think about this, and so I don't have a really strong theory. Like I've tried to write about it, but I questioned his fitness for office for sure, and wrote a piece about
Yeah,
how I'd
you
run
did.
into him, and he was sort of shockingly unable just to do basic stuff. And honestly, nobody read that piece or cared. I'm glad you did, but it
Yeah,
wasn't like I got yelled at and canceled. And the challenge, I think, it is a challenge of polarization. Is that those Fox hosts and those Newsmax hosts, they were right about 30 of the five major Biden scandals, right?
yeah,
Like they were right about they were there was a sea of allegations against Biden, including things that were true, but also
yeah,
things that were false. And we live in this hyper-polarized
yeah.
moment where people just absolutely dismiss, where
Right.
information is processed in a totally partisan way. And I thought, I mean, I've read the excerpts. I haven't read the book. I think it's really interesting. I don't think it gets to or explains or reports that there was a cover up. And it also doesn't quite get into like the inner Biden circle.
Yeah, it doesn't name the co-conspirators. I'm not sure you can write a book saying you're exposing a cover-up if you don't name the people who were involved with the cover-up. That was a delicious video experience. I think you'll agree. Now, what you need to do in return for getting to enjoy that is hit the subscribe button, be part of the two-way community, never miss a thing.